Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, we're diving into scenes that epitomize why these are considered the worst MCU movies. From cringe-worthy moments to missed opportunities, these films have left fans disappointed. Spoilers ahead, so proceed with caution. 1. The Marvels, Superhero Name Game. The Marvels had the potential to be a groundbreaking addition to the MCU, but it fell flat due to its reliance on tired clichés and lack of originality. One of the most glaring issues was the drawn-out superhero name scene. Monica Rambeau, played by Teyonah Parris, spends an excessive amount of time debating her superhero alias, Photon, Spectrum or something else entirely. This scene, meant to be humorous, instead felt forced and uninspired. It's a classic example of how the film failed to capitalize on its characters' chemistry. Instead of meaningful interactions, we got repetitive gags that have been done to death in other superhero movies. The Marvels was criticized for being formulaic, and this scene is a perfect representation of that issue. It's a shame, because the cast had incredible potential, but the script didn't give them enough to work with. 2. Black Widow, Taskmaster's reveal. Black Widow was highly anticipated, but it disappointed fans with its handling of Taskmaster. In the comics, Taskmaster is a witty, skilled mercenary with the ability to mimic any fighting style. However, in the film, Taskmaster is revealed to be Antonia Dreykov, a brainwashed assassin controlled by her father. This twist was meant to add emotional weight to the story, but it fell flat. Comic fans were upset that Taskmaster was reduced to a one-dimensional villain, while general audiences found the character bland and forgettable. Director Kate Shortland and writer Eric Pearson aimed to keep the story grounded, but the decision to change Taskmaster's identity didn't resonate with viewers. A more faithful adaptation of the character could have made a world of difference. 3. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, The Ice Cream Song. Sam Raimi's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness had its moments, but one scene that missed the mark was Billy and Tommy's ice cream song. The scene was intended to humanize Wanda Maximoff, showing her longing for the children she lost. However, the execution was cringe-worthy. The song felt overly saccharine and artificial, making it hard for audiences to connect with Wanda's emotional journey. While the idea of reminding viewers of Wanda's maternal instincts was sound, the scene tried too hard to tug at heartstrings and ended up feeling contrived. This moment highlights a recurring issue in the MCU, balancing emotional depth with the franchise's signature humor. Unfortunately, in this case, the humor fell flat, and the emotional impact was lost. 4. Captain Marvel, Fury's Eye. Captain Marvel had its share of controversies, but one of the most divisive moments was the reveal of how Nick Fury lost his eye. Throughout the MCU, Fury's eye patch had been a source of intrigue, with fans speculating about its origin. In Captain Marvel, it's revealed that Fury's eye was scratched by Goose, the alien cat. While the moment was intended to be humorous, it felt like a letdown. Fans expected a dramatic backstory, but instead, they got a joke that undermined years of build-up. This scene represents a larger issue with Captain Marvel, its tendency to prioritize humor over meaningful character development. While the film had its strengths, moments like this left audiences wanting more. 5. Eternals, Phastos and the Atomic Bomb. Eternals was one of the MCU's most ambitious projects, but it struggled to connect with audiences. One of the film's most controversial moments involved Phastos, the Eternal who helped advance human technology. In a flashback, Phastos is shown regretting his role in the development of the atomic bomb. While the intention was to explore the moral complexities of technological progress, the execution felt insensitive. Shifting the blame for a real-world tragedy onto a fictional character came across as tone-deaf. Additionally, the scene didn't make much sense in the context of the Eternals' mission. If Phastos felt guilty about the atomic bomb, why didn't he feel the same way about the countless wars and atrocities that preceded it? This moment highlights the film's struggle to balance its grand themes with coherent storytelling. 6. Thor, Love and Thunder, Axel's floating head. Thor, Love and Thunder was criticized for its over-the-top humor and inconsistent tone. One of the most egregious examples was the scene featuring Axel, the son of Heimdall, communicating with Thor via a floating head. The visual effects in this scene were subpar, making it look more like a parody than a serious superhero movie. The banter between Thor and Axel was equally cringe-worthy, with jokes that fell flat and dialogue that felt forced. This moment encapsulates the film's biggest flaws, its reliance on humor at the expense of emotional depth and its inconsistent visual quality. While Thor, Ragnarok successfully balanced humor and heart, Love and Thunder struggled to replicate that formula. 7. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Kang's defeat. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania was meant to set the stage for the MCU's next big villain, Kang the Conqueror. However, the film undermined Kang's threat level by having him lose nearly every fight. Whether facing off against MODOK, Ant-Man, or an army of ants, Kang came across as less of a formidable foe and more of a punching bag. While the filmmakers wanted to show Scott Lang's resourcefulness, they overplayed the underdog angle, making Kang's defeat feel unearned. This was a missed opportunity to establish Kang as a credible threat for future MCU projects. Instead of building anticipation, the film left audiences questioning whether Kang was truly a worthy successor to Thanos. 8. Thor, The Dark World, Jane's role. Thor. The Dark World is often regarded as one of the weakest entries in the MCU. One of its biggest flaws was its treatment of Jane Foster, played by Natalie Portman. In the first Thor film, Jane served as Thor's guide on Earth, providing a human perspective on his world. In the Dark World, however, Jane is reduced to a damsel in distress, with little agency or meaningful contribution to the story. Her role as the host of the Ether, the film's MacGuffin, further sidelines her, making her feel more like a plot device than a character. This lack of development is one of the reasons why Jane was written out of subsequent Thor films until her return in Love and Thunder. Outro. These moments highlight the challenges the MCU has faced in maintaining its high standards. While the franchise has had its share of successes, these scenes remind us that even the biggest cinematic universe can stumble. Did we miss any moments that made you cringe or left you disappointed? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell for more epic countdowns. Until next time, stay awesome.